been a while since I've done one of these. It's going to be a whole body myofascial release. You will of course need 2 massage balls. I like silicone. A block and a blanket will also be helpful, or something similar. We'll start from the feet and make our way up the body. And I'll just talk about it more as we get into it. So I'm just going to free up one of my legs. Sitting on something will be helpful to start. And we're going to start with the soles of the feet. Soles of the feet are probably the best place. If you were just going to do one place on your body every day, feet are an amazing place to go. So I'm just starting just beneath the balls of the feet on the center, and I'm just letting my foot rest on the ball. I'm going to rest my hand on top of the ball just to apply a little bit more pressure. And just taking a minute to let the foot acknowledge that there is a ball underneath it. We haven't just stood on a rock. And just giving the connective tissue of the foot a minute to start to soften itself. So this whole process is quite a delicate process. We're going very gently. If we're trying to force our body to open, what's our body going to do? It's going to see it as a threat, and it's going to tighten up. It's going to lay down more collagen fibers and make you more stiff. So I want to make sure you're having a nice time. Make sure that you are comfortable. I'm feeling my foot now start to relax. So now that's the signal that I'm going to start to move my foot around the ball. You can do this standing. You can do this sitting in any way that's comfortable for you. I just happen to like sitting like this. The rest of the body doesn't really matter, just as long as you're comfy. And now I'm just wiggling my foot around. And as I move my foot around, I'm looking for any tight spaces. I'm looking for fascial adhesions, which is just dense fascia. And I'm just going to go for a little dotsudo. I'm not going to miss out on any part of the foot. We're going around the heel. We're going around the balls. We're going inner edge, outer edge, hand on the foot to apply more weight. Can feel nice and just grounding. So for today, I'm going to be moving through the whole body. I do this in real life with about 100 people a week. And so I know a thing or two about where, in general, as humans, we hold tension. And we're going to touch on those favorite spots of my clients. Swap feet. But because I'm not here with you in person right now, it's pre-recorded format. You need to have your autonomy to decide whether each spot is helpful. If it doesn't feel right, come out. A good thing to look for is like a sharp shooting sensation. If you're getting nerve pain, just come out of that area, try a different spot. The beauty of having me in this pre-recorded format is that you can pause, take longer in a spot. You can also skip over. You got the freedom to move me around and make this practice feel really good for you. Okay, now that foot's relaxed, I'm going to start wiggling my foot around. Going all the way around. Balls are a really excellent tool to learn more about your body. We all have different bodies. We have dense fascia in different places depending on our lifestyle, depending on our life story. For a lot of us, our fascia will have certain adhesions because of the way we were born, or maybe an injury we had as a kid. And so when we find dense fascia in a certain place and you get in there and work with it, you might notice that a totally different part of your body that has pain, like say you're working your inner thigh, maybe your jaw then has less pain in it because it's all connected, baby. When you're feeling done with that foot, you're going to come out. We're just going to do a quick little calf muscle release. So I'm sitting down on my bum, and I'm going to bring one of those balls just below the knee on the calf muscle. I'm going to lean back and take my leg for a little whoosh from side to side. So I'm working against the fibers. Something else you might like to do is press into the grounded foot and your hands to lift your tushy up and move with the fibers. And then we'll just simply swap sides. Take that ball now underneath the other side. You can send that leg side to side. You can lift up and go up and down, up and down. I'm going to be moving fairly quickly over these different zones. But like I said, you are very welcome to pause and take longer. Or you can just come kind of quickly with me, and so it will just be like a nice little maintenance type thing. Coming back into kind of our starting position, I've got my leg tucked down, and I'm going to take the ball just to the outer edge of the shin and relax down. You might be sitting up on your block or blanket here. And then I'm going to lean onto my knee and pour some weight. So what we're working is this lovely lung muscle here, just not on the shin, but outer edge of the shin. There's a nice acupressure point here just beneath the knee, stomach 36. I'll talk about the acupressure points as we get on them. This is a tight spot for me, so I really love to hang out here for a while. If you have quite flexy hips, you might be coming into a Gomukhasana shape, shoelace shape. So that top leg is weighing that bottom leg down. And then what I like to do is every few breaths, as you feel the body soften, just find a very slight variation. So I'm bringing that ball down just a little bit more. Down that outer edge of shin. Please slow down your breath. I've been chatting a lot, but we're going to start to drop into a bit more of a yin space. I think I got excited there for a little while. Dropping into a bit more of a yin zone, letting your body down-regulate. We will swap legs over, other side, other shin. Maybe you're sitting up, maybe sitting on a prop. And what I would love for you to look for with each shape is that feeling you get when someone's giving you a massage, that nice, dull, achy massage release. And with some of these spots, maybe you just don't have tension there and then you won't find it. But just keep kind of moving around. If the initial spot doesn't feel like that, go for a little journey. Don't be afraid of your body. You might like to wrap that top leg over, coming into those eagle legs. Not eagle, what is this? Cow face. Shoelace legs. Leaning onto the legs will make it a little bit stronger. Let's take just a few more breaths here. Very nice. Let's lift up. I'm going to open my left leg out. You can mirror me if you want and work your right leg. This isn't going to be for everybody, but have a little go of bringing your ball to the very top of your hamstring, right at that insertion place, and just see how that feels. And then you can kind of lean onto it. You might get that nice dull achy massage release, and that might feel really good. And then you can kind of play with leaning off and on, maybe a little change of the position of the ball. Yeah, really nice. And so each time I rock off, I'm slightly changing ball position. Rocking off and rocking on, giving the hamstring a little bit of support. I really like this sensation at the very top of the hamstring, but you can move further down the leg. And it's just this time to explore. Obviously, nothing compares to having a human's hands on your body for massage. But if that's not something you do regularly, this is a very wonderful thing to incorporate into your movement routine. It's helping to really maintain the body. If you're here, I know that you're already sold on this technique, but I just really can't stress how important it is to give the fascia this release and this support. If you have dense fascia in a certain area and you're trying to strength train that area, it's just not going to work because everything's kinked up and knotted up and our muscles aren't working properly, which is just going to lead to further injury down the track. Let's swap sides. Other leg out. Taking some nice low and slow breath. I haven't spoken much to the breath yet, but I would love if you're breathing in and out through your nose, with your tongue very lightly resting to the roof of the mouth, tip of the tongue just behind your top two teeth. That's a general good tongue position to hold. Feel free to go down the hamstring or just stay up nice and high near the insertion point. And I'll just say it again, if something doesn't feel right, don't do it. Come out of that area, try a different spot. Nice. Let's make our way out. We are going to come down onto our side. It can be nice to have a block, actually have a block if you've got one just in front of you. And then maybe you're going to use your blanket as a pillow, coming all the way down onto your side. And so my right leg is my top leg, and I'm going to bring my knee up. So I've got my block just in line with my hip. I'm going to take the ball to the inner thigh, just above the knee, and I'm relaxing there. With any of these shapes, if it feels really intense, you can put your blanket on top of your ball. That will help to make it a little bit softer. Keeping your foot on the floor here will also make it a bit softer. But if you are okay with a bit more intensity, you can lift that heel up and lower it down. Lift and lower. And then maybe even, this is going to be a bit intense, kick the leg forwards. Oh yeah. And bring it in. So we're on the inner thigh, not on the knee. But I'm starting just above the knee on that inner thigh. You can do some hip rolls, some hips rolling forwards and back. And then we'll just slide the whole situation a little bit closer. So we're now more like middle thigh. Same. You can be rocking the top hip forwards and rolling it back. This is a nasty spot for me. You can pin and hold. That's a nice technique where you're just going to find a spot and just pause on that spot. Slowly letting the whole myofascial unit release. Wonderful. Let's lift up and swap sides. You can just flip yourself over. I'm going to come up and around. And we're starting just above the knee. Make your upper body comfortable. Foot can stay on the floor, or you can play with lifting and lowering the foot. Maybe kicking it forwards. And so you will, instead of hear me talk about muscles in particular, you'll hear me talk about myofascial units. And that's because we now know a muscle is not really a muscle. A muscle is so interwoven with fascia, and the fascia from that muscle then connects to the rest of the body. So we really can't be working with the body in isolation. It's one continuous web. Releasing one part of the body will affect other parts of the body. We don't live in this like isolated mechanical body of parts. Make your way more to the upper thigh. And then top hip rocking forwards will be a nice way to pour a little more weight onto your ball. Stay here with me for a few more breaths. Nice. Wow. Lift up or take longer there if you need to. We're going to make our way down onto our back. Find your second ball. I'm going to just put my block off to the side. And I'll stand up so you can see where we're going to go. You have got, let me back myself up to you. We've got your iliac crest. So this is the hip bone, yeah? And then just beneath that, on either side, you have your sacrum, which is this big triangle bone here. We're going to go just either side of the sacrum on the iliac crest. So you're not above the hips, you are on the hips. Bring some weight into your feet. And bring those balls just either side of that iliac crest. And what this is helping to do is it's helping to mobilize the sacrum. The sacrum bone is supposed to have a little bit of movement, but for a lot of us it's kind of fused and adhesed in spot, which can cause all kinds of pain through the back. And so this is just like a holding still spot, just to let that tissue around the sacrum soften a little more. Take the balls and move them a centimeter lower. Framing the sacrum. Relaxing there. Good. Come back to that starting position, so 1 centimeter up, and then we're going to go 1 centimeter or so out. And so still on the iliac crest, but just a little bit wider. In this place, I really like to add a shimmy of the hips side to side. Yeah, very nice. Take the balls a little bit wider still. Slide one of your legs long. So come with me. I'm sliding my right leg long. I'm reaching my right arm up overhead, and then I'm going to use my left foot to kick me on to my right side. And that ball has now come with me, and it's in the hip crease. This is a wonderful spot, very tense for most of us. Feel free to put your blanket on top of your ball. I'm keeping a lot of weight in this back left foot, maybe some weight in the hand, so that you can control a little bit how much weight goes on the ball. If you haven't found a spot that feels particularly good and helpful, keep moving that ball around. And then you can stay here with that foot behind you, or you can bring that top knee forwards. The ball will roll forwards a little, and then I'm using my hands to take the ball down a little bit. Oh, yeah. So the ball is now in the spot where your jean pocket would go. Yeah, this is a nasty one. Let's take just a few more breaths here together. Wow. Slowly, slowly roll off. And we're going to go straight to the other side. So that other ball will probably still be there next to your left hip. Left leg slides long. Left arm will reach up overhead. And then you're using that right foot to kick you onto your side. The ball has gone into the hip crease. Try to keep your left leg straight and heavy. Feel free to use your hand to move the ball slightly up or down, hunting for whatever spot is holding the most tension for you. You can stay there with the foot behind, or snug your right knee up in front of your chest. The ball will roll forwards a little. You might like to slide it down a little. So we're going onto the hip flexor, finding the spot where your pocket would go. We'll just take a few more rounds of breath. Nice, and then let's release. Whew, mamma mia. Back onto your back. Grab hold of both of those balls. We're now going to go, so we were on the hips, on the iliac crest. Now we're just going to go just above the hips. So we're on that soft tissue. Above the hips, below the ribs, on either side of the spine. This is our QL. You can go wide and you are still on the QL. So big flat muscle that's just on that low back area. What I'm going to do here is I'm keeping my feet flat on the floor, bringing weight into the feet so I can lift my hips up and play with tucking and untucking the pelvis. And just see how that feels. Yeah, maybe a little shimmy of your hips side to side. Now we're making our way to the upper body. You can do this against a wall. If you don't like the weight of your own body on the ball, doing it against a wall can be good. And remember, you've got the freedom to pause and stay longer on a spot. You've also got the freedom to skip over spots. We are just on a exploration, on a voyage, going to those major spots on the body that most of us need a bit of love in. Stay here as long as you like. I'm going to start to make my way up my back. So the balls are going a bit closer together. They're just on either side of the spine. And I'm going to start to shimmy my body down the mat. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. And then as you make your way up, there's these nice long ropey muscles either side of the spine that can be pretty tight. See how that feels. It can be nice to come up onto your forearms. And then I've got freedom to take the balls a little wider, a little closer, and to kind of shimmy up and down, up and down. Maybe a little bit of a side-to-side shimmy. Good. And we're just going to keep climbing the body. Down, down, down the mat. Down, down, down. And, oh, mamma mia, now we are between the shoulder blades at the rhomboids. This is the jackpot, the spot. If this is too intense, put a block underneath your head, or maybe even choose to do this at the wall. I'm going to bring my blanket underneath my head, just to give me a little bit more support. And then you can choose to just keep your arms still, or you can choose to do an interpretive dance with your arms, helping to massage those balls in a little more. Feel free to reach up and over and play with the position of the balls, taking them a little bit wider or a little bit closer. It can feel really nice to give yourself a hug and to rock a little side to side. Yeah, this is the spot, isn't it? See how it feels to press into the heels and lift the hips up, pouring a little more weight onto the balls. That's just if you want more intensity. This is a spot I visit multiple times a week just to maintain my body. Not good for the body to hold on to these knots. We want to release them regularly. One thing to be said for this style of fascia release, from the research that I've seen, it's really not a long-term solution. We're helping, yes, it's very helpful to get those knots out, but it is something you kind of need to do regularly because they will come back. Fascia flossing, on the other hand, which is what we do a lot of over here at Ruman, has more of a long-term impact on the body. So pairing this with the fascia flossing will be a really nice way for long-term maintenance. That's just from the research that I have seen. Shearing has a longer-term release. That being said, this is still a very fabulous technique to do. Very direct. Okay, I'm going to stop chatting. We're going to wiggle ourselves down the mat even more, let the balls pop up out of the way. And now I'm going to shimmy myself back up the mat because that was a journey. Roll onto the right side. I'm so rolled out, I'm losing my words. So I'm lying on my right side. I've got a blanket underneath my head, and I've got my right arm reaching straight towards you. We're now going to go on top of the shoulder blade. So we're going to roll forwards. The ball goes up over the shoulder, and we're on the shoulder blade. So you've kind of got to rock way forwards to get the ball there, and then you can start to rock back. This is a bit of a tricky spot. I will sit up and show you where I'm working. So we were on the soft tissue. Now we're on the actual bone itself. I like to go really close to the shoulder joint. This is a fabulous spot to work and really intense. So feel free to pop your blanket over your ball. Ay, ay, ay. And yeah, actually block underneath the head will probably be a little more helpful, a little bit more height. I'm gonna put my block on its medium setting. If you're feeling a little bit hardcore, and you wanna go a bit deeper, lift those fingertips up to the sky, and we'll move that arm forwards and back. Yeah, massaging it. Working into these little muscles of the rotator cuff that work so hard for us. And they rarely get the care that they deserve. Okay, you know the drill. Stay longer if you like. Otherwise, we're going to swap sides. Flip up and around. Now it's my left arm reaching forwards. Ball goes up over the shoulder. And then you're kind of rocking back onto the shoulder blade. I like to be right up close to the joint, getting into those little rotator cuff muscles. Option to bring fingers up to the sky and move those fingers back and forwards. Yeah. Ooh la la. If you're in a location that you can make sound, I do encourage you to make sound. Big sighs. It's always good to be expressive, to let it come up and out. One more round of breath. And a big sigh out. Rock yourself forwards. Take that ball out of the way. We are now going to come onto our tummies, onto our bellies, and this is where your blanket will come in handy. I've just got one of these classic Mexican blankets that's fairly thick. I'm going to open it up. So it's got, I don't know what that is, like a couple centimeters, an inch or so of height. And I'm using this nice clean corner. Pay attention. I cue this in my classes and people always get it wrong, so pay attention. I've got that edge right up in my far right corner of the mat. So my body's not going to have any blanket underneath it. The blanket is away from me. And I'm going to take one of my balls and pop it on the corner that is closest to me. So if you're more of a visual learner, just check that out. There is no blanket underneath my body. We just did the back of the shoulder. Now we're going to do the front of the shoulder. So you can find your collarbone, dip just beneath your collarbone, and then travel right out towards the shoulder, but still underneath the collarbone. So right on that outer edge, yeah? I'm going to come to lie down and put that spot on the ball. So I've got my right arm reaching out to the right. The ball is underneath my collarbone, really far out towards the shoulder. And I'm going to turn my gaze the opposite way and lie down. See how that feels. You might like to take the blanket out of the way so that you are closer to the floor. You might like to fold your blanket up again to lift the ball up a little higher. And this is just a lying still position.
And take a few more breaths here, just really letting your body melt over your ball. And then we'll swap sides. So lifting yourself up. Everything goes over to the other side. Left arm out to the left. And find the ball underneath the collarbone. And turn the gaze to the right. If that spot doesn't feel amazing, keep searching. Look for a spot that works for you. You can go a little wider, a little lower. You can adjust the height of your blanket. And just let yourself hang out. Releasing the chest, so important. Considering how most of us live our lives hunched over. And take a few more rounds of breath here. Wonderful, let's lift up. Let's go for one last release, the jaw. So I'm going to take my block onto its flat setting, and I'm popping my ball on the block, and I'm going to roll onto one side. And I'm going to place my face on the ball. Right out at the jaw, in that space between the teeth. And as I rock my head backwards and forwards, giving myself a nice jaw release. It should feel good, it should feel helpful. I'm keeping some weight in my body. And then just slowly letting my head rest heavier and heavier on the ball. And then you can just keep playing with moving the head around, moving up, down, side, side, round, round. Looking for any areas of tension in your jaw. Oh, this is good. Take a little longer if you need, or come with me. Flip over. Second side, the jaw. Fabulous work, my friend. You are all done. I hope that was a fun journey, that you're feeling all nice and released. There is so many more places we can go with myofascial release, so I encourage you to look for more MFR classes with me. Feel free to revisit those zones as often as you need. Take care of yourself. Thank you for being with me.